Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 12 and compare it against the iPhone 11 and see how they both hold up in 2023. Now, I will definitely tell you, if you have the money, going up to the 12 might seem like the better deal, but I do think the iPhone 11 is still a very good option as well, and I'll leave both these phones linked down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones side by side, you can kind of tell that they look almost kind of the same, but there's clearly some differences for sure. The iPhone 11, which came out in 2019, on the front had a 6.1-inch IPS LCD panel, and it's approaching 4 years old this year, so it's a little bit older than the iPhone 12 by 1 year. But I think Apple did a pretty good job with this phone. The good thing now is that this phone is a little bit cheaper in the used market, but it was also cheaper in 2019 than it was compared to its predecessor, the iPhone XR, and especially against the iPhone 12. So this was a cheaper phone than both those phones, which is actually pretty interesting. The display itself looks pretty good. You have the notch up top. There's not really a lot to complain about here. Like, it's a fairly decent looking iPhone, but it is an LCD panel, which personally I do prefer the way Apple went ahead and approached it on the iPhone 12 by giving it the same size screen, so you still have a 6.1-inch panel here, but it is a Super Retina Extra OLED panel. So it is a substantially better panel here. The viewing angles are much better. Like, even from where I'm sitting, I can tell the iPhone 12's panel is better than the iPhone 11's for sure. But you're also getting a flat side, which gives the impression that there's a lot less bezel on this type of phone too, which in my opinion makes this phone look pretty cool in and of itself. So on the front, I would definitely give it to the iPhone 12. For the rest of the body, at least on the sides, I kind of I like both, but I would definitely say the iPhone 12 is the better one here for sure as well. You can clearly tell that the iPhone 12 is the more modern one. With the curved side, it definitely is a little bit more dated now. With something like the iPhone 12, it's a little bit more modern, which is something I like. They both have lightning ports at the bottom. And on the back, they actually look more similar than you probably think. I mean, they both have dual camera setups on the back, which is nice. You also have like Apple logo in the center, which is cool. You have the standard glass backs on both these specific phones too, which is really nice. You have wireless charging on the back of both of them, which is really cool. But you have that MagSafe capability here, which is pretty cool in and of itself. But again, there's a lot of similarity and there's a lot of overlap for sure. IP certification on both as well. But I do think when it kind of comes down to it, you are probably getting something, I would say, almost better in every single way on the iPhone 12 for the most part than on something like the iPhone 11 here. So it's just kind of what happens. I like the iPhone 11 a lot, but I do think the iPhone 12 was better in pretty much a majority of the ways. Now on top of that, in terms of software, this is another area the iPhone 12 is going to win at. You are probably going to be getting a longer lasting phone on the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone 11. It's going to be a substantially crazier difference. I don't think it's going to be an insane difference, but it's going to be one of those things where, if you own an iPhone 11, there's a chance Apple may end up making the iPhone 12 last longer. It's usually how it goes. So you're going to be getting a really good performing phone and a good lasting phone from something like the iPhone 11. But I do think the iPhone 12 is probably going to be the better way to go for a majority of people, if you want to get a longer supported phone. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both phones. The iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it, with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. Let's go and hop out all the apps in the background. They're all cleared out. iPhone 11 is here. iPhone 12 is here. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Zoom music 3, 2, 1. And they both were on different panels. This one did switch out a little bit. Let's go and hop out of here. Let's do their app stores 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 11 was faster. I don't know if that one's supposed to be empty, but I guess the iPhone 11 was faster when it came down to this one. It's very interesting. Scrolling out of both these, you can kind of see kind of about the same thing. It looks like the iPhone 12 is doing a faster job at loading. But let's go and hop out of this one as well. Let's go and get into their cameras. 3, 2, 1. And let's go and take a photo. 3, 2, 1. And I think they're both going to be taking it at around the same time. Yeah, so they were roughly around the same there. Let's go and open up that photo. I think the iPhone 11 was actually slightly faster there. Let's do clock, 3, 2, 1. I think the iPhone 11 was slightly faster there too. Photos, 3, 2, 1. Totally messed that one up, so we'll just load this one up and we'll have it in the background for now. Hopping out of these two, let's go and get into some of these third-party applications. So I do have some pretty big games. I don't know what the iPhone 11 was doing there, it was glitching up. I do have some pretty big games like Genshin Impact over here. So we'll go and load up a game like that. 3, 2, 1. Now this is a pretty big game. I may have it downloaded in the background, But we'll just wait until we get into the main, splash screen, the main panel to log in, and we'll see which one's kind of faster there. And the iPhone 12 was slightly faster there a little bit. The iPhone 11 still kind of held its own though, but I could definitely tell for sure more than anything the iPhone 12 was the faster one when it came down to it there. Let's do tempo run 2, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully there's no pop-ups that will close out of them, any of them if I see them. And you can see the iPhone 12 was the faster one there again. The iPhone 11 a little bit slower. Now, even from the basic apps that I just tested, I can kind of get a sense that they are both neck and neck. They are both very close to each other. And I don't think there's one that's like substantially faster than the other one just yet that I've been able to see. Snake first blocks, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 was slightly faster there too. Hopping out of this one, let's do stack, 3, 2, 1. Totally messed that one up too. I do want to see if the iPhone 11 would be faster here. No, but they would be much closer than that. As you can see, I totally messed that one up on this one. We can try another one like Netflix, 3, 2, 1. So I can kind of tell you I think the iPhone 12 is going to be the faster one in a lot of the ways, but I think the iPhone 11 is also faster than the iPhone 12 in some other ways, which is pretty crazy. So I don't think these are like, I don't think the iPhone 11 is extremely slower every single time than the iPhone 12. And I do think the iPhone 11 is faster than the iPhone 12 some ways, but I do think the iPhone 12 is a faster phone more times than not than the iPhone 11. Now in the camera department, like I mentioned, we do have a dual camera setup on both. So we have a wide and ultra wide camera, which is beautiful to see. We also have 4K 60 on the front and the back of both these phones, which is really cool. Now with the iPhone 11, I kind of do feel like this type of phone, it's a fairly good phone for the most part. I've talked about this phone for a long period of time, and really no matter what you're going to do, you're going to be getting a pretty good camera from this thing. It's not going to be perfect, but for a pretty mid-tier phone, this is a pretty good camera. So you have photo mode, video mode, slow mode, time lapse. On the other side, you do have your standard, panorama mode as well. And I definitely do think with applications like Snapchat and TikTok and whatnot, those applications are going to work fairly well with this type of phone too. So I do think you're getting a pretty good performing phone in terms of the camera department on something like the iPhone 11, for sure. Now on the iPhone 12, I do think it's better. So you're going to be getting the better camera on this phone, which is kind of expected. You're spending more money. So with this type of phone, you are getting that, standard camera. You're getting that ultra-wide camera too. You have 5x zoom on both these phones, which isn't a lot, but it's still good that you're getting that type of, capability. You have the standard video mode, slow mode. You have, your photo mode here, portrait mode as well. So still a lot of capability for sure, and it's still a very good camera, don't get me wrong. And I do think it's better than the iPhone 11 overall. And I do think when it kind of comes down to it, the iPhone 12 is the better phone for a majority of people out there. If you have the money and if you have the ability of going up to something like an iPhone 12, this does kind of make the most amount of sense to me. For something like an iPhone 12, this type of device, you're getting a better display, better performance, kind of better cameras, maybe even better battery life in some ways. But I do think the iPhone 11, for the price that you're going to pay for it for a majority of people, this is a very good option. And I do think if you want to save a little bit more money, this is a pretty decent option for some people out there too. So that's pretty much how it goes. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.